Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. Call Allah La, Allahayna, Yahweh Bashim El Shai, Bashim Kakodash, all praises to our power. Yahweh Bashim El Shai, Bashim Kakodash, Yahweh being the true, almighty, and powerful name of the Heavenly Father, the word he calls God, and his only God and Son's name is Yahweh Shai, Bashim Kakodash, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Of course, I want to say double honor to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone World, Shin Kabbalah, La Shala Yachim Noah, was a Kohen Noah, Shal Yasha Allah, God of all over Kub, Ba'aith, giving double honors to our apostles and our elders of Israel, which are at Great Millstone in these times. And of course, Shalom, Wa Chesed, peace and mercy, La Bachayarim, Shalom, the election of the nation of Israel. Shemya Mafa, Mayan, God of all over Kub, Machana, Ayar. So my name is Amapa from the Great Millstone Camp, Plaintables in the city, Philadelphia, PA. Coming again with the Mahdi Ma'at, which is a little teaching, and my mouth of truth, which you have this article being 8 takeaways from the UK elections result. In the UK, they had a snap election, which is just the other thing that is just has been postponing the actual Brexit, being that Britain leaving the EU, right? Which there was former prime minister being Theresa May. She stepped down after coming with the agreement which she had passed by Europe, right? Being the EU, the rest of the EU nation member states, and she had a deal which has within it different agreements of the future relationship between them, right? Them leaving it and such, which that would end free movement. Of course, as you have it, you can live within a EU member state, right, and receive the benefits of being within the EU, but not being of that nationality. Okay, just as if you're in the United States, you can be a part of or born in the state of Illinois and go to Florida and receive the same benefits. Of course, being a part of that United States. Well, in the EU, it's the European Union, and Great Britain is one of the member states, in which they want to Brexit, meaning to leave the conglomerate, which is known as the EU, which that was a spawn that came out. You have it. They want to leave out of the EU. Which, I'm just going to go to the point. Let me just go to the point. It says here, this is the book of Daniel, chapter 7. And it's actually Daniel's 2. It's like it. Daniel's 2. And around 38 or 48. Let me see. 43 or 41. Let me see. So Daniel's chapter. Now, when you read the book of Daniel, or Daniel Allah Hasapar, the book of Daniel, it goes and shows you a statue, which you had the different kingdoms, which you go into, the Babylonian Empire, the Medo and Persians, right? The brass, which is the Greeks, and you had the Roman Empire, which is the leg, and then you have the rebirth of the Roman Empire, which is the the last leg being the feet, the toes, the 10 toes being the iron mixed with the miry clay, which you're going to get into. Which those 10 toes would be representing the EU. Alright, this is Daniel 2:33. And it says, in his legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay. Right, the legs of iron is the Roman Empire, which this is now a rebirth of it, as we read in the book of Revelation. It tells you. I'm just gonna skip and run through it real quick. It tells you about there being. It says here, and I stood upon the sea, and I saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, 7 heads being, or heads being the 7 power or 7 governments of all right, out of Wam, Esau, all right, and you have the which, you know, that goes into Germanian Major, Germanian Minor, French, the British, all right, the Greeks, the Spanish, Romans, okay, 7 heats, all right. You have the 10 horns, which that represent, when you go into it, that's the EU, which is you have it where you had Belgium, Denmark, France, Italy, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Greece, Spain, Portugal, England, and Ireland, which England important, and this is the main focus, and you have it West Germany, okay, which that's the common markets, all right, which now is known as the EU, which was formerly known as the EEC, European Economic Community, all right, and they came back as you read in Revelation. I'm gonna just keep reading real quick. It says in 10 horns, and upon his horns were 10 crowns, and upon his heat was the name of blasphemy. Okay, and now just going skipping. It says, in the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard. This is being the Greeks, Alexander. It says his feet were like the feet of a bear, which is Russia. Was going to end this structure, shooting missiles. They're very solitary as a bear, all right, being Russia, okay, the Russian bear. And his mouth, which is Great Britain, which when you go into it, Great Britain, and they are being Great Britain, and out of Great Britain, you know, you had it formerly, when you go into it, America was a colony of Great Britain, all right, but out of this mouth, the influence, the philosophy was pushed out, all right, and it says as a mouth of a lion. That is right. It says, and the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. Right, which that dragon, all right, is the Roman Empire, right? Which gives it the power. All right, it says here, and I saw one of the heathens as it was wounded unto death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wandered after the beast. Right, in which all the people and so I can give me a wait moment. Yeah, E, which is out of Wam, all right, in Hebrew, he gets everybody to follow, All right. And now, let's go back. So back to the Daniels real quick. Like I said, I don't want to make this too long. Wow, Slocky, let me just click back. Daniels 2. Alright. It says the legs of iron, that's Rome, and his feet were part iron and part clay. And now going down, it says here, it's Daniels 2:40. He says in the fourth kingdom. Alright, also as you learn what the fourth beast, which I believe you learned that in Daniel's the 7th chapter. Which you had these 4 great beasts, all right, which came out of the sea, diverse from another, right? Which you have this one here being Roman Empire, but this here right now, as it's gonna go into it, we're gonna explain. It says in the fourth kingdom, which is Rome, the Roman Empire here shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdue all things, and iron that breaketh all these, it shall break in pieces and rule. Right? And do Roman Empire, they went and conquered. All right, made different vassals, states. Okay, and which were what nothing but tributaries to the Roman Empire. All right. It says, and whereas thou sawest the feet and toes part of potter's clay and part iron, the kingdom shall be divided. And this is the kingdom we're in the new. All right, that wounded, was it that one that was wounded unto death, but it came back. All right, the deadly wound was healed. That's here. It says, but there shall be in of the strength of iron, for as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay, as as the toes of the feet were part iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. Right, which you have it where it's actually partly economically strong and partly weak, being when you go into we was going into the 10 toes, which that's European Union. They are you have your stronger economic countries, which you have it, you have your Germany. Let me skip back. Let's see. EU economy, and you have your Germany. You go into your Germany, your Great Britain, your France, and then you go into your weaker ones. All right, and which you go into your Portugal, the pigs economics. All right, which Italy is one of them. Portugal, you got Italy, and this is 2016 GDP. Let me see. I want a different graph. Let me see. That's something else. Greece and see, let me get something real quick. Yeah, pigs again. Portugal, Italy, Greece, and Spain. Right. And you have it where that's obviously you have it where the actual European Union, the different states have to contribute their revenues to the European Union. So in order to keep everything, everybody, then of course being supported, you have it where Britain supporting a major chunk of their revenue to support the European Union. You have the weaker member states, which are pretty much holding them down. All right, so they want to break free out of that and be sovereign, Great Britain. All right, that's it in a nutshell. Okay, you have, but they're going down. Germany may be already in a recession or at a recession. Manufacturing is down there. It's in a bloody shambles. In France, okay, you see that place is going to shite to, with the people coming in insurrections with the people, and you have you go into also the actual the pension. The different, they got different conflicting things about basically money. Okay, now it says here. This is Matthew 5:18. It says, "For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled." These different prophecies must be fulfilled. All right, and so we tell you of this because we have the spirit of prophecy, as we read in Revelation 19:10. Okay. Now, that's why we tell you these things. These things are important. Now, you have it with this whole, it tells you that in the scriptures that a kingdom that is divided, it can't stand. All right? There's a kingdom that's divided against itself, it can't stand. All right? And we know that Yahweh Shai is that stone is going to break this whole thing to bits. All right? This whole system of the beast, which is named the EU. Okay, which America rides upon that scarlet colored beast. All right, so I want to get in this article. You had the election in Great Britain, pretty much a snap election they called, and you have the Tories, which is the Conservative Party. They won, being Boris Johnson, who he succeeded Theresa May, and they have a deal which has been passed by the actual European Union, okay, but it has to pass through the House of Parliament. It's already been negotiated by the actual negotiators in, I believe, in Britain, and also in the EU negotiators. So just the last part is actually being passed by the House of Parliament in the actual Britain. All right. Because you have to understand that, they had triggered that whole, the article, the withdrawal agreement. I'm thinking Article 51. And let me see. Let me see. British withdrawal. Okay, it was let's see what it was called. Slovakia. What was it called again? It's on the tip of my tongue. Bloody hell. Trigger article. I forget what it was. Slovakia. And basically there's a withdrawal agreement, alright, which is a treaty agreement with the European Union and the United Kingdom on settling terms of the withdrawal of the latter from the former Brexit, all right, which is Britain leaving the EU, all right, which they have to make a different agreement on this exiting, okay, which, as I had noted, it says originally agreement was rejected by the House of Commons, that's the British Parliament and such different parties, on 3 occasions, leading the resignation of Theresa May from the premiership of the UK. She was the Prime Minister, it was subsequently renegotiated by Boris Johnson with the new version on October the 17th. Okay, it covers so much matters such as money, citizens' rights, border arrangements, and the dispute resolutions, and it contains transitional period of outlining the future relationship between the EU and the UK. All right. Now you have it with. Now we're basically on just waiting on them to come to a agreement. Is it going to be a no deal? Is it going to be a deal? All right. Okay, are there going to be a hard Brexit, soft Brexit, etc., etc.? You have to look at the terms on your own. I've done lessons on certain things, but right now they, as you see things, they push this whole election out to nowhere. All right. Now, and he won, which he was the prime minister who, after Theresa May quit, he succeeded. Now, it says here that the results are in, and it look like the Conservative Party. This is published on the 12th, or the 14th of December 2019 year. Kragman meaning the chip. It says the results are in. It look like the Conservative Party will have a 80-seat majority. All right, which, like you said, this is just nothing but Rome coming back again. All right. Because remember, it was diverse from the others. That this certain this certain beast was diverse from all the other kingdoms. Okay, and the reason that is why is because they have a Senate. They do votes, democracy, and all these things. Okay, so. Yeah, it says here, Daniel 7:19 says, "Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast," is Rome, "which was diverse from all the others, exceedingly dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nails of brass, which devoured and brake in pieces and stamped the residue with his feet, and the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the others which came up, and before of whom 3 fell. Even that horn that had eyes and a mouth that speak very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows." That 20th part, I believe that goes into with America. All right, very arrogant. Okay, 3 fell. I believe that goes into the actual with the French, Spanish, and the British. Okay. Yeah. Kind of. No, but the point, and that obviously America came out of Great Britain. Now, like I said, it's diverse from the other. So, my point in this point is that because they had a Senate, okay, which you read that in the Book of Maccabees. I'm just gonna go through it fast, not to make this too long. It says here that it was the best conservative report, and that's where you learn the seat having the different seats and all these different things. That just go back to the Senate, which Roman Empire had, and this beast is nothing but the image of the beast. All right, which the beast, and they on the EU, they just hold the same ways, all right, of the old ancient Roman Empire. All right, just Rome back again. All right, back through these different vassal states. Okay, coming back, which we wouldn't explain. All right, vassals gave power, okay, to the Roman Empire. These different European states and such through the EU and NATO, they support the beast. Okay, which America rides on that scholar called it beast. All right. So it says the pound, and it says here that it was a conservative result of the 1987 election. All right, the worst labor which that's this just not but the plebeians and the patricians all over. All right, you see the red and the blue. Okay, it says we expected a Tory victory, but it's not of this magnitude. And that's all set up. All right, the elections. It says the pound and other UK markets have surged in response. And you have it with, due to the different Brexit uncertainty, with people they knowing what is going to happen with the British, even the exiting the EU. A lot of the markets been shook up where the pound was losing its its strength. Okay. And now, they manipulate it where it's like, it's, went up in more confidence, okay? Because this election means, Lord willing, this Brexit happening soon, okay? Just due to spirit. It says Brexit is done. The UK, this is one point of the 8 takeaways from the UK election result. It says Brexit is done. The UK will withdraw. European, that's the Great Britain, the European, which the UK, the United Kingdom consists of. You go into what, I believe it's Scotland, Great Britain, Wales, and I believe Northern Ireland. All right, let me just check that real quick. Okay. Fuck, man, it's like you. No, I want to look on Google. Right, Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales, England. All right, so that's that conglomerate that makes up the UK. All right, not because Great Britain. That's just Great Britain refers to Great Britain is an island that talk about the whole island, but yeah. And let me see this. Roman ruins include. Let me see. It's like once divided Roman and Britain and Northern Scottish. All right, Sloggy, that's in something else. But yeah, so I just wanted to make that, just bring some understanding a wee bit. All right, so because in the House of Parliament you got, the different constituencies, the different members and such from the different parties and such. They represent different places within Britain. Okay, so there was a vote. You had Boris Johnson. He beat Labour Party, all right, for having a majority in the House of Parliament. Now they got more seats, and hopefully, as it says, UK would withdraw from the EU under the terms of Boris Johnson Brexit withdrawal agreement, which I explained. Although the larger question of future trading agreement will remain. That's dealing with the whole Irish border and all of that, and different agreements. Because remember, when you leave out of that whole EU, okay, the European Union, which you have the different member states and such. I believe 27 other member states, and I believe Britain will be the 28th, but they'll be leaving, so it'll be 27. Then you have to negotiate various trading arrangements. How you're gonna get various things, because things were already negotiated between that whole body. Okay, Scotland has the fish. This place got the meat. They carry the wheat, all that, etc., etc. So when you leave out of that, okay, you have to negotiate the things, okay? Which when you had it where things were, you didn't have any different border, you had no border within them being the EU, no border checks and such. But this would be a conflict because the whole thing with the whole Northern Ireland, all right, which they are part of the Great Britain. If they are supposed to leave, then you have it with them leaving part with Britain. that will mean that there will have to be some checks and such. All right, because then if you're no longer in the EU, okay, so we have to check what goods are coming in and out, and to apply various taxes and tariffs, etc., etc. But that has been being a actual issue, a major issue. Okay, because there's different issues between Northern the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland. Okay, which really Republic of Ireland is independent. Alright, but it's crazy. It's like they're independent, and the Northern Ireland is a part of Britain, and then Northern Ireland is independent but within the EU, if I'm not mistaken. Like, let me see. Let me just check real quick. It's a lot of confusion. Alright, so Republic of Ireland. Alright. Which it says let's see, it is a part of the EEC, then predecessor to the European Union in 1973. It says the state had no formal relations with Northern Ireland for most of the 20th century, but during the 1980s and the 1990s, the British and Irish worked with the Northern Ireland parties towards the resolutions of the Troubles, and since signing the Good Friday Agreement in 1998, and the Irish government and the Northern Ireland executive have cooperated for a number of policy areas, the North and South Ministerial Council. All right, and it says Ireland is ranked one of the 10 wealthiest countries, all right, in the world, in terms of GDP, and now I see. I want to check something really quick because I don't want to. I know it's not part of the other of UK, but it says part of. I want to see if it's a part of EU. Of the Ireland is. And yeah, it's a member of the EU. But it's crazy because they're part of the EU, but then they part of. This is the Republic of Ireland. Okay, they are not a part of Great Britain, but they're part of the EU. So, like I said, they have to be. The problem with that whole Troubles and the Good Friday Agreement, they don't want no border and such. Okay, show British rule and such. So if they return that, it's going to start problems and such. All right, that's one of the different big issues, because with this whole Brexit thing, you have it Northern Ireland, which is a part of Great Britain, them leaving. All right, but it's like if you put this in them leaving, but then there's like certain they want to make some certain exemptions and such to try to appease things between, the Southern Republic of Ireland, okay, Slovakia. Now, if they do that, with certain exemptions, you gotta go and learn about this whole backstop, dang Irish backstop. That's the trouble right now. All right, this is the issue, okay. Wouldn't that mean they're being exempt? They'll be still, if you're talking about leaving, all right, you should be leaving totally, all right. So it's a bloody shambles, just for the lack of words or and such. It says extension of a transition period. All right, so Boris Johnson, he says we're gonna lead the EU, and even in that, you said about the 31st, he was, he had to end up having a right. He said he wasn't gonna write for extension, and he ended up being forced to, day so and such. I mean, sign a paper. It's a bunch of bloody shambles. It says the UK has leverage over the EU. That's another point. For the past years, a disunited UK government has met by the united EU. Now the roles will be reversed. The UK has a strong majority government, effectively fostered 10 years, while the EU division on how to approach the UK will be exposed. A critical one is to be the EU security arrangement, which is going to it. France Macron recently warned to demote the importance of NATO and create stronger European military power, while Germany Merkel continues to cite its importance. So you have a break, because remember, the beast is NATO and the EU. All right. Now, like you have these different European unions, which they are part of NATO, and with them leaving, like it's going into leaving this body being the EU. Okay, security wise, because you got different states, got different like Britain, different border force and all these different things. Different. You have even in that's a whole nother story though. I ain't gonna bring in that. Scotland they got the Triton, all right, which that's the nuclear power for Britain, right? Now you have it where the security that different security benefits of having basically Britain within that. Now that's this. They're gonna have to need more additional security. All right, mainly from what? From Russia, okay, China, etc., etc. All right. So it says the UK is another. It's going, and this is good. It actually explains itself. It says the UK is other big military power within Europe, along with France, and could be a pivotal in future arrangement. Put another way, look at the EU member Estonia. It shares border with Russia and relies on NATO protection. Okay. Who would it vote in any UK Brexit deal? Would it care more about the UK's role in NATO or customs checks on the Irish border with the UK? That's right, because let me see what I was gonna say. UK role. You have it with the different member states and such, being a part of. You say the EU. You have the different European Commission. They vote on the various things. Okay, so they, if one member say, hey, various members say, hey, we want, we think it's solid to have them there, so let's keep them, different things. It's a lot of things that's going on with this whole Brexit, thing, but as biblical prophecy says, it's going to happen. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it surely shall come. All right. Now, going in, aside from security concerns, every EU member will have to consider its economic relationship with the UK. Exactly. Which that's another thing too, because remember, it's partly strong and partly weak. All right, being the iron with the miry clay. The UK will avoid a hard Brexit. That's another thing. That's another factor. Austerity is over. So UK will avoid a hard Brexit. With no deal will be as good as staying in the EU. The likely deal will be in the soft Brexit category, This will remove the worst potential of a hard Brexit consequences, such as punitive tariffs and regulatory barriers, borders and such, with the EU, and soften the transition, with the North and Midlands forming important new power bases on the Conservatives, delivering a positive outcome, right? The Conservatives being the party right there, delivering a positive outcome from the industrial sector, and notably the auto sector, will be critical for the Conservative. Austerity all over. It says first there will be a global shift away from austerity. Okay, austerity. Sternness and severity, a matter of attitude. Alright, and budgetary restriction. Whether in U.S. or in the IMF recommendation, second the Conservative Manifesto. Alright, I have to go into that another time. I wanted to stay on point. Labour Party still a post-Corbyn Scottish risk. At the SNP, Scottish National Party, and they almost had a clean sweep in Scotland. This will likely bring to the forecast of Scottish independent vote indie ref, right? Scotland even want to. They think that they want to. They say they voted to stay within the EU, right? Which is just to go into it. Scotland ref back in the what was that 20 Scotland in that last it was a referendum for the Brexit. What was it? The Brexit. They voted. It was mainly, what was it? I think it was 50. Let's see, Slovakia. The Scotland, they voted to stay, all right, within the EU, if I'm not mistaken. Right, so let me just check this real quick. This was back long ago. Yeah. You had, of course, UK voted to leave the EU with that referendum, right? And you had 48% 0.1 voted to remain within the EU. UK voted to leave EU 52 to 48, leave one majority of votes to England and Wales, while every council in Scotland saw remain majority. So Scotland, they wanted to actually remain within the EU. Because of the whole Brexit, they've been like, hey, we want independence and such. They're bidding for independence because they see a sinking ship being Great Britain when they leave, which Scotland is a part of Great Britain. They don't want to be a part of that sinking ship, okay, when they do exit the EU, okay. They don't see it that Great Britain, with them included, will be prosperous. So they, of course, want on their own to go on their own and pretty much that's the Scottish National Party, and we're talking about SNP. All right, yeah, you can check out this dude here, Ian Blackford. Pretty fiery guy. Ian Blackford, a Scottish politician, served a leader of the Scottish National Party. You can check out some of his speeches and such. Right here, look, we will have our own referendum. Okay, you have the different debates within the because I'm really heavy within this whole Brexit. That's pretty much one of my favorite topics, part of their prophecies which are to be fulfilled. And yeah, he is fiery. Look, we will save Scotland, and we will have a referendum. Scotland will become an independent member of the EU, European Union, he says. All right, because they don't want to go down with Great Britain. All right, so I mean, it's a lot of different division and turmoil and backstabbing which was going about, within the different voting processes and such. It says Ian Blackford held the Ross and Sky in a Lochbear or Lochbear. I don't know how to pronounce that one seat, and saying that his party is not prepared to see Scotland taken out of the EU against his will. Right? Because remember, if you're part of the Great Britain and they're leaving the EU, you're going with it. All right. But they want, to propose a second referendum to vote, basically as a vote for independence, which they will have to vote that in the House of Parliament, all right, and they will have to agree, the House of Parliament in Great Britain, which is Great Britain consisting of Wales and England, okay. Scotland is one of the ones. And Northern Ireland, they have to vote on that. All right, but they're saying because basically they're subservient to Britain. We're being taken against our will. And I'll probably do a little lesson on that, on its own. But you see a house divided, it can't stand. All right, which we'll get that scripture and leave of house divided. Can't stand or cannot stand. Alright, Scottish Potter. It says here, in Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. Alright, which that this house, this current power structure is divided, a divided kingdom, the iron with the miry clay. Partly strong and partly weak, as we can see. All right, then their political structure, okay, and everything, even everything they're divided within. All right, but they want this dual order, but prophecy will be fulfilled. All right, this is the book of Habakkuk. I'll just leave with that one actually too. Habakkuk 2, because I was pretty with following any different things. You'd be pretty excited, and you're like, man, when I remember when they actually March the 31st came, and then they didn't leave, they got another extension from the EU, and then October the 31st came, and then got another extension, which was forced, okay. and then which Boris Johnson had to do, and then the new, we're seeing January the 31st if they don't come to agreement within the actual House of Parliament. You have it where the new European man, I love this stuff. The new European Council, all right, our European Council president, which is, her name is like Vaughn. She's a French chick. Missy Slovakia. I believe. Had her thing up. Slovakia. Let me just check on my thing. All right, so you had Donald Tusk, which was the farmer, I believe, he was the president of the European Council. The president of the European Council, he is largely a political, preparing the work of the European Council, organizing, chairing meetings, seeking to find consensus of his members, being different member states within the EU, and reporting to the European Parliament after each meeting, which Great Britain as a whole will be a member of the European Parliament. All right, which European Parliament actually came to agreement for the different deal with Great Britain. It's just Great Britain, they have to come to a agreement within their House of Parliament with this deal. All right, Slovakia. It says the president will also, at his level of capacity, ensure external. Let me see. Let me see. That was that's basically the point. We check in later, but let me get this chick who she is. Basically, she this chick is basically, she's in for actually extending talks and such if they don't come to agreement by the 31st. All right, basically continuing to postpone it, but we know though it tarry, wait for it because it surely shall come. European Council President, or it might be not the president, it may be European Commission. That's what I'm talking about. Like, I know you got where's this chick? This chick name should just pop up. There she is. There's a you have here, I believe she's a French chick. Commission. And right here, EU Commission, Slovakia. That's the name. Yeah, Ureza von der Leyen. Okay. Let me see. I want to look up that real quick. Basically, I'll just title this Brexit Brexit update or something like that. Yeah, YouTube. Let's see, Google. Roll. So yeah, of course she had to be appointed, obviously with the European elections. Heads of the state of government of the EU countries with approval of the European Parliament role gives political guidance to the Commission. Alright, what could be the different member states and such. Alright, calls, chair meetings, and etc. etc. Alright, so you got that. Alright, so you know, that's pretty much the update for the new. Okay, you know, look into the pigs, you know, look into their things and grow within this truth. You know, as these prophecies continue to unfold. 8 takeaways from the UK election result. Hopefully, we're gonna see this Brexit pretty soon. All right, Britain leaving the EU, even Scotland leaving the EU. We'll see what it be. All right. Remember, Scotland is part of Britain, so you know, whatever happens, fulfill prophecy. All right, with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai, B'Shem Kodash, and double honor to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone. Well, peace and salutation to the election, and a ball. Shalom.